At this time, I'd like to now welcome County Council President Gabe Albornoz to the podium to say a few words.
Good afternoon, good people, and congratulations to the 73rd session. My name is Gabe Albornoz. I have the honor and privilege of serving as our council president. And in the 1980s, my parents sold their house in Gaithersburg and my grandparents sold their house in Silver Spring, and we moved to Bethesda. Within a few months, we befriended a neighbor who was a widowed woman in her 80s, a lovely woman who from time to time I would help mow her lawn or help her unpack her groceries into her house. One winter night, our neighbor was brutally murdered, senselessly, right next to us. And as it turns out, I was probably one of the last people to have ever spoken to her. I will never forget the Montgomery County police officers and the detective in particular that came to our home to interview our family to see if they could glean any information, and me specifically because I had spoken to her. I remember being a scared boy, overwhelmed by just the raw evil that had happened just next to our home. But I also remember the compassion and the decency and the patience that that detective showed with me as a boy who was scared. Every interaction I have had since with police officers here in Montgomery County has been nothing but positive. As the director of the Recreation Department, I saw with my own two eyes officers that spent their own time and energy to mentor and guide youth. And I've had the opportunity to work alongside our remarkable, dedicated men and women. The training that this 73rd session received is so important and will take them so far. But it's that humanity that that detective that showed me, which is going to take them even further. But that humanity has to cut both ways. We have to acknowledge that the jobs that these officers are about to embark on are difficult on a good day, that they have to process reams of information and policy and procedure and law in real time. 8 months ago, I had the opportunity to participate in a ride-along. And I saw once again, just in a microcosm of one night, what these officers experience every day, the decency by which they showed the victim of domestic violence, the engagement with our public in ways that were so productive and helpful and dignified. I also saw with my own two eyes how terrible some of our own residents can be and how negative of an environment we are in, with some people spewing terrible things to officers just simply trying to do their jobs. We are in a complex time. And as the county executive acknowledged, we are in a state of transition. But I believe firmly that we can meet this moment, that we can acknowledge that we have to change to reflect the change that's happening in our community while still honoring the sacrifice of these brave men and women and the acknowledgement of the difficulty of the jobs that await them. I lastly want to thank all of you, the families who are here this afternoon, who I know are beaming with pride right now, but also are probably feeling a little bit anxious about the world that your loved ones are about to enter. As an elected official in our community, I want you to know that we stand with you, that I, as council president and as a member of this body, will do what I can to provide these men and women with the support that they need. Mahatma Gandhi once said that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others. And that's exactly what these men and women have decided to do. They have decided to serve all of us. And we can never thank them enough for that sacrifice. Thank you.